What's up guys, my name is Anthony and in today's video I'm going to be doing a last to first challenge with Lewis Hamilton whilst I talk about some real life F1 stuff and answer some of your frequently asked questions about F1 2021. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like at any given point. Let's get straight into this video. So firstly, what I'm going to be doing is talking about the real life F1, just talking about a few topics that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to be talking about some of the frequently asked questions that you guys have sent to me through the comment section of some of my videos about F1 2021. So let's talk about the real life F1. So let's talk about Max Verstappen's form as of lately. Obviously he had that issue all the way back with the tyre failure, but for a while now Max has been so dominant, and I want to know what you guys think about that. Obviously, Mercedes have been dominant for multiple years, whereas Max has only been dominating the sport for a couple of races, basically. But what do you guys think of that? Is it refreshing to you? Do you want to see Max go on to win the championship? Do you want to see Lewis win the championship? Who are you backing for this year's F1 Drivers' Championship? For me, it would be nice for Max Verstappen to win the championship. If he does end up winning it, then moving forward into the new regulations, he's going to have a boatload of confidence, and it's going to be a tough battle for him and Lewis going through to the next season, and that's exactly what you want. You want a tight battle between two, maybe even three drivers for the World Drivers' Championship. But yeah, his form has been absolutely insane as of lately. I believe they said he's 33 roughly, or 37 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton at this point, and basically if you're that far ahead in the championship, you're not going to lose essentially. I think they said Fernando Alonso was the last person to have a lead in the championship this big and still not go on to win the championship, and that was way back even before the hybrid era even started. So yeah, it's very likely that Max is going to win the championship currently at this point, but you never really know what's going to happen in Formula 1, and anything can happen. If Max ends up missing a couple of races due to DNFs or whatever, then it could bring Lewis back into the championship, or Max could end up running away with it, and it can be a completely dominant championship run for Max Verstappen. So as I said, let me know in the comment section who you're backing to win this year's Drivers' Championship. And now the thing that everybody is talking about, and that's George Russell's insane qualifying yesterday, and for him to only be a 10th of a 4th place in a Williams. I'm sorry, but even if people are saying that maybe the Williams is quicker than we give it credit for him to only be a 10th of a 4th place is just nuts, and it's stupid, and George is showcasing that he definitely deserves a spot at one of those top teams, whether it's Mercedes or whether it's another team. He is showing that, and Mercedes in particular is definitely going to be looking at their options over the next couple of years if George continues to show this level of driving. And though he's not necessarily been the best in races, I think once he pulls together that first solid race, you're just going to see more and more and more of those type of races from George Russell, because I do think that he has the pace, even in the Williams car, to be able to score some solid points. He's just not been able to do it yet. And you guys already know, if you've maybe done some laps on F1 2021 or even F1 2020, you try to get that certain lap time, and then once you've gotten it once, you can get it again and you can get it again, but trying to get it that first time is so difficult. And that's basically what we're seeing here with George Russell, trying to get that first solid race, the first solid amount of points in that Williams car. It's been a massive struggle for him, but once he does it once, I feel that we'll be seeing him doing it again and again and again. Now, speaking of solid drivers, Daniel Ricciardo, he actually matched Lando Norris yesterday, and that's exactly what you want to see, because in my personal opinion, I see Daniel Ricciardo as like Sebastian Vettel. People love Daniel Ricciardo, no one really dislikes Daniel Ricciardo, and we all want the best for him, and he's been really struggling with this McLaren car this year, so you just want to see him perform as best as he can. And since he matched Lando Norris yesterday, then that's going to give him hopefully some confidence moving forward into this sprint race, and hopefully he can take advantage of this sprint race, maybe get himself a little bit further up the grid, because there's not going to be any pit stops in the sprint race, which means it's all going to be down to the driver, and they're going to have to pull the maximum that they can out of that car for, I don't know how many laps it's going to be. I believe it's, in fact, I don't even know how many laps it's going to be, so I'm not even going to guess. But either way, you want to see Daniel Ricciardo do well, and hopefully in this sprint race he's able to put himself a little bit further up the grid so that he can start in a decent position tomorrow. And speaking of the sprint race, what do you guys actually think about this weekend's schedule? For me personally, I'm going to wait and see exactly how this sprint race affects the actual race on Sunday tomorrow. But I know that a lot of you guys have your opinions about it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think Formula 1 should get rid of it straight away? Or do you think that this will actually be a good thing for the sport? Let me know what you think about this weekend's schedule in the comment section below. And last but not least, Lewis Hamilton. He finally managed to topple Max Verstappen in this weekend's qualifying, and you could see exactly how much it meant to Lewis, how much it meant to the fans, and how much it meant to Mercedes as well. You could hear it in Bono's voice. It was an incredible moment, and obviously he bottled the final lap, but if he didn't, he would have probably finished 2-3 tenths ahead of Max, which was a good sign for Mercedes, and a good sign for Mercedes this weekend as well, because we all know that Lewis tends to do better in the race, and the Mercedes car in particular, especially this year, tends to do better in races than it does in qualifying. So Lewis being at the front for this sprint race, it could shape how this weekend's gonna go. Maybe Lewis will end up going on to win this race minus any outside forces that ends up happening, and maybe we might see Valtteri Bottas battling with Verstappen, or Verstappen battling with Lewis. We don't really know yet, obviously, but I do think that this is hopefully signs to come for the rest of the season. I want to see a close battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, and at the moment it's been anything but close. Max has been not miles ahead, I should say, actually, but he's definitely been ahead of Lewis and Mercedes, and all I want is for the two of them to have an all-out battle and have it be very close. And who are you backing? As I said before, who are you backing for this year's Drivers' Championship? Is it Max or is it Lewis? If Lewis wins still, after all the setbacks that him and Mercedes have had this season, people are really going to have to question whether or not Lewis is the greatest driver of all time. And if he doesn't, as I said, it's good for Max, because it's going to give him a lot of confidence moving on to the next regulations. Okay, so now we move on to F1 2021. Now I have 3 frequently asked questions that I've been getting on my videos, and that I've been getting on some of my community posts on YouTube as well. If you do have any more questions that you want me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I may answer them in a future video. So let's get into these 3 questions. Now the first and probably the most frequently asked question that I've received, and that a lot of other content creators have received over the past couple of days, and that is, when will they be adding the new tracks into F1 2021? Well, I personally don't work closely with Codemasters, but from speaking to the other creators that do work closer with Codemasters than I do, they've basically said that when they finish the tracks, they will add it into the game. Now, my personal guess is going to be that all the tracks will be added before F1 Esports starts in October. However, you never know with these things. I don't know exactly how long it takes to make a track into a game, since I'm not a games developer, but hopefully they will add it sooner rather than later. And in addition to that, people have been asking, will they be adding in the updated version of Australia and Spain? And from what I gather, they won't be doing that in this year's game. So by the time that we get the updated versions of Australia and Spain, it will be in the F1 2022 game, from what I gather. And the next question that I've personally been getting a lot on my videos is, where are the setups? Now, I've explained this in my Bahrain track guide already. However, if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go and watch that first if you do want to learn the track of Bahrain without the racing line. However, I did mention in that video that at the moment the game's brand new, setups are very different from how they were in F1 2020, so it's going to take people a while to actually build setups and learn exactly how setups work, and I don't want to give you guys time trial setups, because time trial setups never really work in race conditions. So I want to learn how setups work, build race setups, and then I'll be releasing a spreadsheet, a baseline setup spreadsheet, that will give you guys the best baseline race setups that I possibly can. In addition to all that, I believe Tom97 he has said that Codemasters are working on a patch that will slow the cars down. This could potentially affect how setups work as well, so working on setups right now may not be the best thing, because you actually might be wasting your time, because if the cars end up changing to the point where setups also change, then all the work that you've done up until that point basically means nothing. So for now, I'm going to wait and see exactly what happens with this patch that's supposed to be coming. If not, then I'll start working on, learning exactly how setups work and try and get that baseline spreadsheet to you guys as soon as I possibly can. And the last question that I've been getting quite frequently is what are my camera and wheel settings on F1 2021, and the quick answer to that is I will be making a video that will be coming out on Monday showcasing all my camera settings and my wheel settings for F1 2021. So if you do want to see that and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that on Monday you get notified about that video. And for those of you who are already subscribed, all you have to do is simply wait until Monday. So I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, I hope you enjoyed the segment of me talking about real life Formula 1, and I hope that I was able to answer some of your frequently asked questions about F1 2021. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and make sure to stick around until the end card so that you can see some of my other F1 2021 content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.